Shoes. Good morning, you guys. What the heck is up with running shoes? This video, I'm gonna talk a little bit about if you're a new runner or if you're looking to switch shoes, what is the shoe lingo? What do you look for in running shoes? And all about just running shoes in general. So there are a few things to cover. You can't really talk about shoes without talking about form. So one of the biggest things with running is how you're running and how your foot hits the ground. And that's actually going to determine what type of shoe will be best for you. Or vice versa. Maybe you would be looking at a shoe and you really like the shoe and you like the philosophy behind the shoe, but you're going to need to switch your form in order to wear that shoe correctly. So my number one thing though is don't wait to run until you have the perfect shoe. You definitely should start running in whatever running shoes you have. Get comfortable with that shoe, and then you'll quickly realize what you like or dislike about that running shoe, and it will lead you on a journey to find another shoe, and then you'll have a little bit more knowledge and understanding of what is a shoe to you. So there are so many different shoes out there. This topic is like, you know, diet of the nutrition world. It's like very heated, and I'm not going to tell you what shoe's the best because it's all a matter of opinion. What shoe is good for me is what is a different shoe than Gwen is a different shoe than everyone. So I'll just tell you what I value in a shoe, but just keep in mind that those values are going to be different for every single person. Okay, so to start off, what's very important is running form. And there are lots of different aspects to running form, but the most important, like I said earlier, is how your foot hits the ground. And I think this is the most important as it relates to shoes, because it is that point of where form meets the shoe. So one thing that Gwen and I learned right off the bat with running was the difference between a heel strike and a toe strike. And basically, when you're running, a heel strike is obviously when your heel hits before the flat of your foot or the ball of your foot, and then a forefoot strike is when you run and you kind of land naturally on the front of your foot and glide to the back. So that's the difference. If you guys hear that lingo, forefoot versus heel strike, those are the two different things. And what's really interesting is that our bodies are meant to run with a forefoot strike. If you take off your shoes and you go try to run barefoot, you're going to naturally be landing up near the ball of your foot and your toe, because if you were to land on your heel, you would injure yourself right away. It would hurt, and your body is not supposed to be landing on the heel naturally. Yeah, just go give it a shot on your own outside barefoot and you'll see how you're meant to run. And now given that, that's because yeah, that's how our bodies are designed, and our knee and our leg and our foot and all of the body mechanics are built to take the shock of running when you land on your forefoot. But if you land on your heel, it's sending all of that force up into your leg, and it's going to cause knee pain, knee damage, and joint issues over time, and that's how most runners get injured, probably from that type of wrong running form. So I think it's really important to transition to a forefoot strike, but know, you guys, that this is a transition. Most of us are running and walking and spending all of our time, all of our lives in shoes that have a built-up heel, and where the heel is higher than the toe. And that means that switching to a forefoot strike might sound easy, but it actually is a little bit more tricky than it is, because your Achilles tendon and your calf are shorter from wearing shoes and heels that are built up in the back. So there is a transition process that we recommend if you're interested in forefoot running, and you should read some books on it. One of the books we recommend, which I'll talk about in the next video, is Born to Run, but that's just a really basic, like, inspirational book. It doesn't really technically speak too much, but I'm gonna link after this video a series of running tutorials by Ultra Running, which is the shoe company that I currently have been running in for the last few years that I love the most, and I'll talk to you guys about why. But those videos really quickly and concisely tell you about all of the different things that I'm talking about and why it's important. And then what we suggest to do to transition to running that way is run how you currently are, and then over the period of like a month, slowly start to increase the time that you spend forefoot running. So if you're normally a heel striker, tomorrow on your run, you would do like the end 5 minutes of your run running on your forefoot. And you'd be toe striking or whatever. And then you're gonna feel it, you're gonna be sore from that. And then in the next run, maybe do the same thing. And then next week, increase the time a little bit. And over the course of a month or two, you'll be running like that always, and you'll probably never go back. But if you make the switch suddenly overnight and just switch to forefoot striking, it's going to be extremely painful and you could get injured. So be very careful doing that. It's a painful process, and it takes a lot of time for your body to adapt realistically. All right, so a few other things that are important in running shoes and terminologies that you're gonna hear thrown out there all over the place in the running shoe world is stuff like zero drop, stack height, toe box, all of these things. So Altra makes a shoe that's very interesting and is my current favorite because it has a wide toe box. As you can see, they say this is a foot-shaped toe box. And I do have, I have a bunion actually, so I like to have a lot of space in my toes, and I find that I get lots of blisters in between my toes if I'm wearing a normal shoe with a more narrow toe box. So Altra is pretty good for that, although there are even better out there for wide toe box these days. But the winning combo with Altra is the wide toe box, and you can see like just how wide that is compared to like a Salomon shoe. And then also zero drop, or just drop. Altra has zero drop, which means there's no difference between the back height and the front height of this sole. There's no difference. It's like running on the ground, the flat ground, barefoot. Yes, there's cushioning, which is the stack height. There is cushioning, but there's no difference in height. Where in, say, even this Nike here, there is a little bit of a difference between the drop back in the back and the front. And generally speaking, it's gonna be higher in the back and less in the front. And as you can see in something like the Salomon, the stack height is pretty high. They've got a lot of difference between back there and up here. So I've tended to like zero drop, and I really have loved it, and it did take me some time to transition, so do know that. What other thing do I really love about Altra? I guess that's kind of it. They're more minimal, so there's not as much cushioning, although they do make shoes with quite a bit of cushioning, like this road shoe, the Torin, which Gwen and I absolutely love. It's really squishy, it's like running on clouds. But yeah, look at the wide toe box there. They look kind of like clown shoes, but I absolutely love them. There are all different types of shoes out there, you guys, that I cannot tell you what's gonna be best for you. The Hoka, this is a really big trail and ultra shoe these days, and they're known for having a lot of cushion, like a lot. So they're gonna have probably more cushion and stack height, more stack height also, which means that you could potentially roll your ankle easier on trails than most shoes. But what I have not liked about them is the really narrow toe box. So I haven't been running in these, but Gwen really does like them. So like I said, you guys, there are shoes for everyone, and I can't tell you what's gonna be the best shoe for you, but those are some of the values that I look for in a shoe. I also started off running in this New Balance Minimus, which is quite amazing. And the only problem was that when you're putting a lot of miles in a minimal shoe, you need to have correct form, of course, and have a forefoot strike. You have to, or else you're gonna injure yourself. But without enough cushioning, if you run a lot of miles, this can put some wear and tear on your legs. So that's actually why I switched to Altra. All right, that's a lot to handle in one video. Like I said, just do your own research. Your values are gonna be different than mine. Gwen definitely has a lot different things to say about all these shoes than I would. So take this all with a grain of salt. Get out there, run, have some fun, find out what you like in a shoe. And you guys, if you have some stuff to comment and add below, please do in the comments below. Like if you are an avid trail runner or road runner or whatever, tell me what you value in a shoe, and maybe some suggestions for people watching this video. What are your favorite tutorials, resources, and all of that. That's it, you guys. Stay tuned for tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm gonna be talking about my favorite running books, inspirational books, resources, that type of thing that will help you navigate the world when you're new to running. All right, that's it. Hope you guys learned a little bit about running shoes. Ask questions. I am happy to answer them, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.